It is an auspicious day for the Sunmaker. Plasma Gun receives some long-awaited buffs, which I think are going to make it quite a competitive choice. Maybe not still the best, but maybe up there. Venting damage hits your toughness first now, and to be honest, from my testing the Psychonium, it does negligible damage. Like, you can kind of just ignore it. And it now ignores limb modifiers if you penetrate through to a different body part. So, if you hit an arm and it goes through to a torso or a head, it will deal full damage, which means you'll be seeing a lot less drag shooters surviving superheated, supersonic projectiles hotter than the sun, which was always dumb. Not being able to one-shot shooters felt pretty terrible. It's going to be much less of an issue now. So I want to see what this baby can do in a practical scenario, and this is actually our first run with it, so see how things go. We are playing on Shock and Awe Gauntlet, or whatever the hell it's called. So more specials. But this is actually Heresy simply because there were no other Shock Gauntlet games open at the moment, and there may not be so for quite some time because of how the map system in this game works. I will say though, I think Heresy a lot of the time is harder than Damnation, because, especially if you're playing with randoms anyway. Because players are simply better in Damnation most of the time. I think that may not be the case here, simply because these kind of modifiers typically attract the more talented, more experienced players anyway, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Well, that's pretty fun. I like that. One thing that I have found very strange about Fat Shark's balancing is that they... Can you die, please? Thank you. My lord. They've implemented some weird features for a few of the guns, like the Plasma Gun. I think dealing damage through your toughness to your health was always kind of a dumb mechanic. Toughness should have always been the first thing to go. But then they kind of end up nerfing those things that people don't like, which is fine. I think it makes way more sense the way this gun is designed now, with venting, that it won't just deal damage straight to your HP. But then they just kind of go overboard the other way too. Like now, when I vent, look how much damage it does to my toughness in the bottom left. Go back and watch that again, if you need to. Like, it's basically not even a mechanic anymore. Like, it just doesn't even matter. And I'm pretty sure I could just stand in the middle of a horde of shooters, just taking a bunch of shots, and as long as I'm killing elites, or 5 meters away, whichever toughness talent I'm running, I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with my toughness as vet. That's a lot of stuff coding. Don't get me wrong though, I'm super happy they buffed this weapon. Plasma is, I mean, it's iconic in 40k, as I said. I think Chainsword, Plasma Gun, Bolter are kind of like the holy trifecta of 40k weaponry in the Imperium anyway. Anyone, even if you're not really that into 40k, you can look at this gun and be like, oh yeah, that's from Warhammer 40,000. It's so cool.
Getting some payback.
And from my very limited experience thus far, it does seem more fun. So remember, when you get up to 100% heat, as long as you don't do any charge shots, you will automatically vent back down to, I think, like 78%, 80%, depending on your heat efficiency, I believe. You can manually do it as well, of course. And so with counterfire, we can keep the ult going for a really long time with this build now, which didn't used to be a thing. You used to basically run into a hard cap where you just couldn't shoot anymore after only like 5 or 6 shots. Because your reload, even with the reload talents, is not fast enough. And the instant reload talent at level 30 doesn't reset your heat. So I think Plasma Gun is legit really good against shooters now, which it was not before. And as we know, being good against shooters is relatively important in this game. It's not always necessary, but it helps a lot. And you can shoot through bulwark shields now. 2-shot bulwarks, which is pretty cool. Now, again, obviously, some of these breakpoints are not going to be the same on Heresy as Damnation. It is going to be a little bit easier for us to one-shot things. But Shock Gauntlet should keep the challenge up enough, especially because we're playing with pubs and have no communication with them. Been a relatively smooth start so far, I guess. And I do want to apologize. I got sick again. My niece just turned 2. She's absolutely freaking adorable. Just like super friendly and fun. But she is a little disease gremlin, blessed by Nurgle himself. Every time she goes to daycare, she comes back, and when I see her, she just, I mean, she gets me sick. I've been sick more times in the past year and a half than I have in the previous decade, and that's probably not even an exaggeration. I think this is literally the 4th time since the launch of Darktide, which was only, what, late November, early December? I had the plague at that time as well. I don't know, maybe typhus is trying to tell me something. Dude, that penetration though. That's some good stuff. I'm gonna end up liking this thing more than the bolter. And I love me bolter. Love me emperor. Simple as.
Cadian surprise coming in.
I don't know what the ideal perk setup for the, well, perks is more obvious. There's a couple ways you can build perks. I guess I meant blessings. What the ideal blessing setup is. As you saw, I have Gets Hot and Blaze Away at the moment. I think both of those are going to be pretty good, although I don't know if, maybe Volatile instead of Blaze Away. But I think it depends. I don't know how easy it is to keep up stacks with the Plasma Gun on Blaze Away. I know if you just keep left clicking, you'll keep them up, but obviously there's a pretty hard cap on that front anyway, because you'll have to vent once you get to 100%. As I said, as long as you only do left clicks and don't do any charge shots, you won't explode. Even at 100%. It'll just manually vent, or automatically vent for you, I should say. Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't see those flames. I'm coming, friend. He's netted for a while there. So far, my teammates have not shot any poxbursters that I'm pushing over, which I'm quite happy about. If you saw my build at the start, you'll know that my Antax has Shred and not Head Taker. I still have not remedied that because I haven't bothered to go in and actually save a tier 4 Head Taker. I'm not even sure I have access to one anywhere in any of my weapons. But considering axes appear on all classes except Ogren, it shouldn't be too hard. I just haven't taken the time yet. Shred's still decent, but obviously Head Taker is way better. Head Taker Brutal Momentum is the play for Antax. Oh, I'm on fire! Help me, Tom Cruise! Help me, Oprah Winfrey! Use your witchcraft, put out these flames. It's tasty. It's real tasty. I'd like some more skins for this gun. Preferably ones that you can actually earn. Though the one I've got right now is pretty sick looking. I do like the weapon skins that actually change how the weapon itself looks. A few of them are kind of just a camo pattern, but I think the Crucius Nightshade literally just changes how the plasma gun looks, and it looks even cooler than the base version. So I think there are a couple ways you can build the plasma gun right now. I think Unyielding is good if you want to go like pure Ogren deletion. Personally, I don't think my teams, especially when I'm playing with friends typically have too many issues with Ogryn, so I wouldn't say that running the Ogryn and boss talent is a waste. I want them to kind of group up here with me if possible. It's about to get scary, I think. But yeah, I guess it just depends. You can have, like, if you have 2 plasma vets, you could maybe have one guy running the Ogryn talent, one guy running the counterfire talent. I can't shoot him! So you can definitely run unyielding. I honestly, the flak unarmored combo for perks is kind of tried and true for most guns. It's kind of hard to go wrong with. I'd say that was probably more important before, when you had to deal with the limb modifiers blocking shots, so it maybe isn't quite as important now. But flak, I would imagine, is still good. Right now, I have unarmored and maniac, and I may switch the maniac out at some point for flak, but I wanted to try it out, and it seems pretty decent. It'll help me against all specials, which are probably harder to hit breakpoints against. So maniac might actually be the play. I'm not sure that unyielding is necessary, but it's probably just how you want to build your plasma gun. I don't think it'd be bad at all. I am curious how this thing does against bosses now. Hopefully we can get a Plague Ogryn or something to try it against. To be honest though, every gun and melee weapon in this game kind of melts bosses. They could use some buffs too. Bosses are just not very scary right now.
Up you get, sell it. I shall not let thee down.
I had no idea what that thing was, and that was scary. Wow! Such is the fate of all heretics. I say that I would almost certainly play Chaos Space Marines on the tabletop if I ever got an army, which I don't have any plans for right now. I've talked about that before. There's some quite a few barriers to entry that kind of make me not want to get into the tabletop thing as a hobby, but I mean, ultimately I almost guarantee I would enjoy it. It's just a lot to get into, not just from a financial standpoint.
We need not fear that first.
Yeah, I think something thematic on tabletop with Chaos Space Marines would be near the top of my list. World Eaters, maybe? Maybe Night Lords, although Night Lords are maybe a bit less attractive, simply because they don't actually have a full line. Like, you can do a full Khorne theme list that has their own unique units and stuff. I don't know that Night Lords have that kind of love. I don't even think they have their own codex. It is kind of annoying that Games Workshop just continuously goes back to the same factions over and over again, and they get, oh yeah, Death Guard, we get like codex in 8th and codex and supplements and blah 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 blah. And then a lot of the other CSM legions just don't ever get anything. It's cool. Very cool, dude. I like Death Guard. I'd like to see them in Darktide, honestly. That's true for some of the other factions as well, like Dark Eldar. When's the last time Drukhari got a new codex? Maybe they got a new one recently, I'm not sure. I know a lot of them have gone a long ass time without actually new units or models or rules. Alright, this is gonna be a good test for the plasma gun. A lot of shooters. This thing goes through walls, by the way. Goes through cover, which is pretty cool. Oh, I love this, man. I need to flee.
This one's for Katie.
Need to drop this ammo box in a second here. Uh-oh. Double, uh-oh. Is this where we wipe, boys? I can't slide. One of the sickest clutches ever. I shouldn't have ulted there. Forgot I hadn't dropped the ammo box yet. Oh lord, he just blew that doggy's leg off.
He's dead. We shall drive them from cover. Hey, that's nine.
Fellow Chad veteran also running plasma. Always been a Chad weapon. I was running plasma before it was cool. Doggy, what are you doing? The hipster Chad plasma. It does seem like on some of these higher HP specials, the maniac dudes, I gotta charge a little bit before shooting to one-shot them. What the hell is that? We got maulers. Oh, hi. God, vet stam regen is so bad. I was fighting all that time, my stam just never came back. Homie's got it, that's good. Don't like doing those mini games anyway. I'd rather slay.
I can only imagine you attempted random inputs until it worked, but it is now working.
We're doing alright though. The shot gauntlet is not an easy modifier, not even on Heresy. I'd say with it and Damnation, it's like really the only legitimately challenging thing left for full parties of very experienced players at this point. I personally know a lot of people who don't even really want to play when they don't have that modifier active, which I don't agree with, but I understand the sentiment anyway.
Kill shot looking for a skull.
Shouldn't say don't agree with, I just don't personally feel that way, is a better way of putting it, I guess. Milkman! Watch out! Oh no, I hit the I hit the Poxwalker in the face with the nade. That's not an easy event. I think teammates handled that pretty well. I don't know if I have a breakpoint against muties to one shot. On Heresy, I bet if I charged it, I could. I don't know about Damnation. I do have 25% Maniac, so maybe. That was a terrible ult. Bruh. They also changed muties in this patch, by the way. They can't do like 180-degree turns on a dime anymore, which is nice. One of my least favorite things about it. I mean, it always looks super jank. Look at that. Look at his tiny little legs and gigantic upper torso. It made no sense it could. I mean, honestly, it handled more like an UFO than a car or a monster truck. Just like immediately puts on the thrusters and moves laterally. Does a 180 without losing momentum. Didn't make any sense. So that's a pretty good change. We are getting new visual cosmetics that are earnable through penances early May. But whether there will be more actual content on top of that, I do not know. God, Fat Shark should not have advertised this game as live service, dude. It's so clearly. I had always been under the impression and hope that they had a bunch of shit lined up to release like relatively soon after, right? And it makes sense considering how like the game launched that they didn't. But I was still on that copium. That they'd have maps and more weapons and stuff ready to go. There weren't just variants, stuff like the melting gun, all that. Pretty clear at this point they did not have those things lined up at all. Which again makes sense, considering it seems like they were pretty far behind. Which again is not to get all like crazy negative about the game, because I would not be playing it right now if I did not enjoy it. But yeah, I think it's well documented at this point. Launch wasn't what we all would have wanted for it, but the core gameplay loop itself killed that dude through a wall. Is sick. I mean, the gameplay is great. There's really not much competition on the melee fronts for Vermintide or Darktide. The shooting mechanics, the melee mechanics, movements, atmosphere. They did a lot of things really goddamn well. They really did. A lot of stuff outside that core gameplay loop, visual, atmosphere, OST is not so great. And support has been slow. Very slow. Content has been slow. They're working. It'll get there. It'll get there. New maps and new weapons, please. That's top priority for me at this point.
Eliminating target.
Got a room full of dregs.
Enemy dug in. Take it out now.
Yes, the Tox Flamer seemed to be able to eat my plasma for one shot, unless I like maybe fully charge it. It means there's almost no end. Maybe if I hit a headshot. Yeah, I guess if you hit a headshot, a charged headshot on Damnation, that probably kills, but they're tanky. Oh! Okay. Things might get spicy here, boys. I'm not going for the ammo. We don't need it. Someone else wants to get it? Sure. But I think we got bigger problems right now. We are surrounded. Should I aggro those shooters? Probably not. Am I going to? Obviously. I think the Horde's gonna pull them in anyway. Don't shoot it. Thank you. Good team. Oh, what a player! I'm so good at this game. Yeah, so the reason pox bursters will frequently blow up, or rather you can't push them over, is because if they get shot by anything that causes even like the smallest bit of stagger, I don't know how long the period is, but essentially for multiple seconds afterwards, they can't be staggered again, which means they can't be pushed again. So even if you have enough stamina, sometimes you won't be able to push pox bursters over, at least in those frustrating situations where you push them with full stam and they still blow up on your face and wreck you. So just keep that in mind. Do not shoot them at all if you see your teammate going to push, because even one bullet from like a submachine gun can put them into a stagger state. That means that your teammates cannot push anymore, which will oft get them killed.
This one's for Katie.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful weapon.
Mutants, perish! Kill shot ready. This way.
Bruh, that's supposed to work.
I hear a hound.
Okay, this finale's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy at all, I don't think. Already one of the more dangerous finales in my experience. Add some modifiers and lack of communication on top of it, it could be a recipe for disaster. I think these are damnation players though. All seem pretty solid to me. Remember, you're allowed to use melee as a veteran. You don't have to always sit in the back line. Way too many vet players kind of crumble as soon as they have to do any form of melee whatsoever.
Gotcha, cover this alley.
You don't want to be that guy. We lost our boy Milkman. Come back to us, sweet prince. Oh, the sniper. Where once he existed, now he doth not. Bro, we're popping off with this thing. Thumbs up on the plasma buffs. I would personally, I think that toughness damage could be a little bit more impactful on it. I don't think it needs to be like literally just not even a mechanic anymore. I'm surprised at how little toughness damage it does, but it does kind of seem like Fat Shark's in appease the community mode. Which, yeah, I'd probably agree. I'd rather things be over buffed than over nerfed, but here's the thing, I don't think we need either one of those to be the case. I think the plasma gun can get buffs, and I think toughness damage can still take a little bit more than what we have right now. It's so much fun to use, though.
Hey, cover! Cover the soldier! Right, 666! Eliminate! Reloading! Almost on the ring! Throw grenade! Engaging!
I feel like we're slightly in danger right now. I'm going! I'm not going! I'm not going! I wanted to do cool things and the sniper made me sad. I love that. NBD, bro. Just killed 8,000 Poxwalkers with an axe. That's very common for non-Space Marines to do. Just another day in Cadia, baby. Alright, I'm gonna go pick up my homie, and we can get the hell out of here.
What's to abandon a true-hearted servant? Throw a grenade! Put it together, priest! By the pound, thanks.
Okay. I didn't think I dodged too early there. I guess I did. Rip. I think Psyker's got me. Don't leave me, Psyker! Oh, you have a clean... Oh, no. Run, Milkman, flee! Alright, well, I guess we're gonna be left behind. Ripperoonies. I think Psyker could have gotten me there. I think he got scared because the special's coming up. I think as long as you got your ult with Psyker, there's not really any one special that's too scary, because you can just press F and they're going to be staggered, and then you just shoot them or blow them up and you're good. But as long as they don't die here, I think it doesn't really matter if we get left behind or not. Well, don't die now, boys. Yeah, I think we all could have handled that ending a little bit better, but that's fine. We got the win. All that matters. GG. GG. Yeah, new plasma gun. It's fun. Give it a shot. I think you guys are going to like it a lot. It's good changes overall. As I said, I think toughness damage could be a little bit worse than it is right now. or a little bit more impactful anyway. But overall, not too much to complain about. It's nice to have another new weapon that'll be viable on the higher difficulty runs.